Hello, I'm Duke Wellington here with an inside edition of 60 Minutes. Today we're going to be talking about a new religious organization called the Coop. It's shrouded in mystery, and some may even call it a cult. Today we have interviews with former members, high school students, and others about experiences they've had with this so-called religious organization. Hello, Duke Wellington here with Bobby May, a sorority girl here on Walford's campus. She is a new franchise owner of one of the Coop's locations. We're here with her talking about her experiences.
So earlier this year, my sorority went to one of the franchisee meetings where they tell us about the Coop and its history and stuff, and we totally loved it. So we decided to change our philanthropy from whatever it was before, I don't remember, to the Coop and their religious organization. And so we opened one, and all the proceeds go to spreading religion and stuff. And we used to have functions all the time, but now we just eat the chicken sandwiches and the baby chicken sandwiches,
Yes.
Communion, and we do that instead because we don't like Chick-fil-A and their heathen fries, and also they make you really fat. So through the Coop I found salvation, and now I'm gonna go to heaven because I work at the Coop.
Now we go to an interview with Dr. Sanders, who has done some research on what is actually in the chicken.
Hello, my name is Dr. Sanders, and I am a nutritionist outside of Columbia, South Carolina. I had the pleasure and the disturbing reality of testing the chicken from the Coop restaurant. I had some interesting results regarding the chicken sandwiches that they have. While they say that they have a very similar recipe to the Chick-fil-A restaurant, there were hint traces of cocaine and also heroin in the chicken sandwich recipe that should not be consumed by any person, let alone children and women. However, what is very concerning is that in their baby chicken biscuits that they refer to as during communion, they did not hold any of these traces of cocaine or heroin. So it is very interesting that they have it in their communion, or they do not have it in their communion, but they do in their other meals.
We have exclusive interviews with a couple of high school students about their experiences with the Coop.
I ate at the Coop, and it was pretty good. The chicken was great. They played Christian music. I think it's a good place.
Well, I'm Lauren Lawson, and my fiance Zach Wolliver started the Coop, and that's where I actually met him. So the Coop is actually way better than Match.com.
Hello, I'm here with Rosa Gertrude Madeline. She's an ex-member of the Coop. She's here to tell us a little bit about her experiences within the Coop.
So I owned a franchise for a little while. We were doing really well, selling a lot of chicken, having a lot of worship services, a lot of people showing up. But then all of a sudden they just started taking more and more money from my individual franchise. And that was okay if they were using it for ministry, but I didn't know exactly where it was going. So that concerned me a little bit. And I just got to the place where I couldn't keep it open because they were taking so much money from me. And also, they always talk about how fresh their chicken is. It's not really fresh, it's frozen.
You heard it here first. Now, for the first time, we have anonymous footage of an inside look into one of the business meetings of the Coop.
We've kind of already mentioned this. We've had some grievances with Chick-fil-A, and we wanted to split off and form our own business per se. So we thought it was necessary to have some changes of our own. We believe we should focus on the most important things for our restaurant, so we don't lose sight of who we are, rather than Chick-fil-A who's now we have now Chick-fil-A has free salad. We do play Christian music in our stores. We are closed on Sundays. However, we are not just going to take our building and leave it sitting there vacantly. On Sundays, we actually use our buildings to worship in. The franchisee owner is actually responsible for leading the service, so to speak, at the individual Coop restaurant.
I handle the religious side of things, and so I want to give you, as a potential franchise owner, where you're responsible for these Sunday worship services, a little bit of a background on what that looks like. We practice communion, but it's a little bit different, right? So we use our baby biscuits for communion with lemonade. We actually, for communion, we call them baby Jesus biscuits. We use our baby biscuits, or just the biscuit for vegetarians. We're still working on a gluten-free version. That's in the making. We want to be sensitive to everyone. That's what we want to do.
More spheres of influence, more money.
All the money that we can leverage. So we actually use baby biscuits from Saturday morning. We refrigerate them, and we heat them back up and use them Sunday morning.
They might be a little stale though. So
if Jesus was hanging out today, he'd probably hang out with the Coop because we're pretty cool. So we're actually about to partake in the Lord's Feast. So if you guys can start pouring a little bit. The way this is going to work is we have a creed that we say every time before we take the Lord's Feast. So if you guys want to take one of these and pass it, you guys ready for this?
I'm totally ready.
All right, on three. 1, 2, 3.
I believe in God the Father, who sent his Son to die for our sins. I believe that God died for me so I should live for him. I believe that living for God means using my life to tell others about what God did for me. I believe that all aspects of life can be used to bring God glory. I believe that the Coop is using good chicken and the good news of Christ to impact the world. I believe that Christians should be known for their charity towards others. I believe that the best way to do this is to have a non-profit chicken chain that glorifies God in the message that it preaches and the way it uses its money for humanitarian aid. I believe that Truett Cathy was the best example of a Christian business owner. I believe that when Jesus was on earth, he told us to take communion in remembrance of him. I believe that chicken is good for the soul. Amen.
We want to allow you to participate. We don't like to call what we do protesting, but we want to get people in the community aware of the fact that there is a Christian chicken chain in the area. For those of you who maybe are a little bit shy, you guys can be our sign holders, okay? So if I have any takers on this, don't settle for secular chicken. Experience true Christian chicken. Ask me how. Forget the rest and come get blessed.
Oh yes, that's mine.
You know differently with your chicken that makes it so Christian.
we cook it in holy water.
It's boiled, not fried.
It's holy water in the box. We put the oil comes in, it says holy water.
Okay, so it's oil in the holy water box.
We also call our deep fryers baptismals, right? So we want to immerse the chicken and bring it back up to this golden state of perfection.
The Coop, new religious organization or cult? I'll let you decide. This has been Duke Wellington with Inside Edition of 60 Minutes.